Genevieve, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
That is great. Thank you so much for joining this evening.
Good to be here.
I know that you are a super duper busy lady, but I also know that, like me, you think that this is a really important topic that we need to discuss.
Mhm.
So I would like to formally introduce you, my dear. Well, first of all, I should introduce myself. My name is Selena Pollard Scott. I am a realtor for the last 26 years. This series that I have been doing over the last little while started with COVID. And I thought that now that things have changed a little bit, we have to pivot. And I have an acronym for pivot, which is persevere in very opposing times. So my desire is to bring valuable information and content to people who are needing this content and just don't know where to find it. So people like yourself I think are so valuable right now. And so without further ado, I also want to let you know that we're going to be on for about 30 minutes. So we're going to be respecting everybody's time coming off at 6:30. I have put Genevieve's information in the chat, so you can definitely get in touch with her personally, DM her, or send her an email if you have very specific questions. And if you want to speak, this is obviously a very sensitive topic. So let's just dive in. So I have with me today Ms. Genevieve Alao. She is a registered psychotherapist and also has a master's in divinity. Genevieve is a collaborative and creative counselor who is passionate about journeying with her clients during challenging life circumstances. Real life change is a process, so she's committed to walking with people as they figure out what is holding them back so that they can move forward. She has actually created Corner Counselor to provide affordable, accessible, and appropriate one-on-one sessions, community courses, and group workshops in underserved neighborhoods. Corner Counseling is also a mentoring and launching platform for newly registered therapists. So when Genevieve is not speaking at a seminar or speaking to me, she's running a workshop or working directly with clients. She also teaches at Tyndale University and Humber College in the Department of Health and Human Services and the Faculty of Social and Community Services, respectively, and advocates for anti-oppressive frameworks within the mental health care profession. So that is who we have with us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so thrilled. Thank you for joining us, Genevieve. Thank you for agreeing to do this. And I want to let you know a quote that she holds very valuable within her practice, which is, you cannot solve your problems with the same thinking you used when you created them. And that's a quote from Albert Einstein. So, here we are. We are in the middle of the, as one of my friends says, COVID. And we are also entering a season that a lot of people don't care for. So we're going from, summer into fall into winter. And I myself am very familiar with a lot of colleagues and friends who suffer with SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And I wanted to jump on here with you to sort of have a quick conversation around that, and also around some fixes. So maybe I can just jump in and just have you just briefly explain what is SAD.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me and for opening up the floor to have this conversation. It is important information because I don't think a lot of people really always take the time to pay attention to what's going on. And the winter blues is sort of a term that flies around every now and again. But what's sad is it's actually a major depressive disorder, and it is a diagnosable disorder. And so it does have to be taken seriously and given the attention that it does need and that it does require. So just like any other form of depression, it is considered a mood disorder or a mental illness or a mental health issue. And so we need to sort of look at it and attend to it as such.
Okay. So what caught me off guard a little bit was when you said major. I actually had not realized that it was major. So that is good to know. So tell me, what are the symptoms of SAD?
Yeah, so SAD is, so I like to say this because most people associate SAD with winter. Seasonal affective disorder is a seasonal disorder that affects our mood and our emotions and our feelings and all of that stuff. And so can present itself at any season. It can present itself in the spring as well as the summer, but most often sort of in the winter to fall or fall to winter months. So we're looking at depressive symptoms on a whole or in general, as we're looking at appetite issues, sleep issues. We're looking at what are we doing, how are we enjoying what we normally enjoy, how are we sort of shifting our attention to things that we wouldn't necessarily normally do, like sleep in, or we wouldn't normally overeat, or we wouldn't normally not enjoy the basketball game or not enjoy hanging out with our friends. Sorry.
That's okay.
Not enjoy hanging out with our friends. So we want to just monitor our change in behavior. We want to monitor our change in mood. If there's like a low mood, we don't really have as much energy anymore. We feel lethargic, unmotivated. We're sort of in a rut. So we want to monitor for those sort of regular depressive symptoms. But if we're looking at how we shift and how we change seasonally in the summer months, you want to look at if you have insomnia, if you're sort of on edge a lot, if you're sort of agitated a lot. And so usually weight gain in the winter, weight loss in the summer, oversleeping in the winter, undersleeping in the summer, right? We're looking at sort of those patterns of behavior and changes in our personal makeup. One thing I also like to call attention to is your level of focus. So some people sort of coast through life doing 1,000 things at once. Sometimes it seems as though you can't concentrate. It's just scattered, brain scattered, so many thoughts, overthinking, ruminating. So paying attention to that as well can be helpful, because that's usually one of the maybe one of the first things that begins to change, that we notice something's going on up there. We can't quite do as many tasks as we could before. And that can be an indication that something's happening.
So I see a couple of questions popping in, and thank you for joining us this evening. We'll definitely be answering a couple of those questions as we move through. So here's my question to you. So you mentioned these symptoms to watch for. So over what period of time would you say, if you notice yourself being this way, for what period of time? A week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. When it comes to SAD, you have to look at about 2 years, because you're going to have to look at consistency in terms of seasonal change. But when because it's an episode of depression, seasonal episode of depression, so you're looking at a period of 2 years.
I see what you're saying.
But with depressive symptoms, you're looking at 2 weeks straight.
Okay.
Looking at every day for about 2 weeks, there's a significant change in your mood, in your energy levels, in your motivation, in your ability to engage, in your desire to connect, in your motivation to isolate, all of those things. You're looking at like a consistent 2-week period. There's no relief.
Right. Got it. Okay. That's very good to know. So what are some common contributing factors? So go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're saying significant something?
Yeah, no, just common contributing factors. Like obviously, I guess perhaps we're talking about seasons. So obviously that would be one.
Yeah. So contributing factors just sort of in general. I mean, we're not looking at causes per se, but because in the summer months and in the winter months, there's usually a shift in terms of the amount of sunlight that we get, exposure to light that we get, that can mess with our internal clock, or our circadian rhythms, if you want to say like that. So inside of us, we have things that tell us, or that tell the body when to do certain things, right? So we have serotonin, we have dopamine, we have melatonin, we have all these things that sort of transmit and communicate. They sort of talk to each other, and they say, oh, look, it's dusk. Oh, look, it's nighttime. Oh, look, it's getting dark, or it's getting light. It's time for the body to begin to wake up or to wind down. So sometimes in the winter or fall to winter months, our levels of, say, serotonin may decrease. And so
Huh.
feel, or melatonin might increase. We might feel sluggish. We might feel slow. We might feel tired.
So this is a natural thing that would happen?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to jump in and start talking about anything that I think. I just want you to keep talking. So risk factors. So what may increase your risk of suffering from this?
Um, so risk factors in general,
Mhm.
I like to start with the most obvious. It's just not taking care of yourself.
Mhm.
If you don't take care of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, that puts you at risk to be affected more severely by conditions like these: mood disorders or thought disorders, mental illness, for example. In terms of the sort of scientific risk factors, women, being a woman puts you
Great.
at greater risk.
Great.
Yeah.
Like we
Okay.
don't have
Well,
any.
I know we don't have enough stuff to deal with already, right?
Right. Exactly.
But because it has to do with hormones, right?
Right.
So yeah, we're 3 times greater risk.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Anything about background or family that also can affect this?
Absolutely, absolutely. If there's mental health issues in your family, especially depression, bipolar, if there's sort of uh, close family members, your parents usually, that are affected by mental illness in this way, then you are at greater risk. That's just sort of the reality of the matter, and that also helps you to be more diligent, I think. When
Right.
you recognize that it impacts your family members in such a way, then you can also do your due diligence to ensure that you're operating and functioning at optimal capacity.
Right, right. This is
Definitely.
just very, very, very helpful info.
Mm.
Is there anything that can exacerbate some type of a situation of SAD, or somebody is going through a seasonal disorder?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Something like what we're going through now.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Exacerbate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah.
We're looking at isolation. We're looking at detaching, disconnecting, social isolation, remote learning, remote working. We're looking at being by ourselves for a long, long period of time.
Mhm.
Majority of our days, which is actually not. Um, I mean, it's not usual. I'll say
Right.
it's big,
Right.
big change.
Right.
Sort of being out there, grocery shopping, at the library, at the kids' school, at work. We're a
Just
lot of.
anything. I mean, I know of people who have were so happy to go back to work just because, not because they love their work so much, it was just something to do to get out of the house kind of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I definitely get the whole isolation. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot there to unpack, and so I guess I want to like just sort of pivot to like the happier part. So what are the treatments for this? What
The happier parts.
Yeah, the happier parts, because now we get it. And I think, I don't know, I speak for myself. I think there's times in my life where I do have issues with this, right? And
Yeah.
definitely when you're isolating and you're having to more or less be autonomous and do stuff all by yourself, then that can be a problem, especially people who thrive in social environments, right?
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
a client who is an incredible, vivacious person. He was very, very high up in the corporate ladder, and now he's doing another business, but he misses that interaction of sitting around the table with
Yeah.
fellow colleagues, right? So
Wow.
it gives us something, right? It gives us something.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't realize how
Absolutely.
much, right? So why don't you tell us the happy stuff? Tell us
The
how
happy
we
stuff.
can get out of this place. And obviously, I guess there's going to be some practical options, and then perhaps it would have to move into something a little bit more dedicated. But I'm going to allow you to speak on that, and then
Yeah, for sure.
what questions we have that we haven't answered.
Okay. Well, I like to say the obvious first. So in terms of the practical everyday stuff, I'll get to that in a second. The more obvious is if you are noticing these symptoms, they're causing you a high level of distress and they are impacting your day-to-day living, certainly seek out professional help. See your doctor, please, and get a referral if you need to be referred to a psychiatrist, if you need to be referred to a psychotherapist to get therapy or go through counseling, then definitely do that. Seek medical help, especially if it gets to the point where there are like suicidal thoughts, suicidal urges, homicidal thinking, anything like that. Definitely seek emergency services immediately. And then when it comes to the practical everyday aspects of things, I sort of I have sort of an intersubjective experience, I guess. So I'll share with you what I do.
Okay.
Number one is move. Get moving.
Moving.
Yes. Like I cannot explain to you how amazing it is to move and how amazing it is for our mental health.
So I remember something that I've heard a long time ago, just put one foot in front of the other. Like just that basic, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. A walk every day, go for a jog, even just stretching.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy like yoga or anything like that. Just stretching the body top to bottom, neck up, neck side, neck down, around, go to your shoulders, go to your arms, go to your core, bend over, get the blood flowing. Impacts mental health in significant ways. Okay, so get moving, whether it's just a stretch or it's a full-on, like, what do you call that? I can't remember the funky like workout they have.
Pilates thing?
No, it's like a stressful workout.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, don't know anything about stressful workouts.
I know, me neither. I don't do stressful workouts. Dancing is great too.
Dancing. I do that any day of the week, 24/7. Okay,
yep.
Dancing is good.
So dancing, yeah. Move your feet and your arms. Yep. On some soca music or whatever you listen to, and just move for 20 minutes or so.
So can I make this point? Because I know what people are thinking who are listening to this. They're thinking, but what if I don't feel like it? Just do it, right?
Just do it.
Just move through it. Just move through it. Just do it. Please just do it. Okay.
And once you start, it'll be easier for you to keep going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think people sort of have a sense of what will work for them. I'm going for a run. I'm not going, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do, stressful exercise or whatnot, but I will go for a walk.
Right.
I will go for a ride.
Right.
I will do some dancing.
Right.
So people will know what they can and can't do. And offer yourself grace. I mean, start with something. You don't have to run a marathon. Take a walk around the block.
Right.
But that leads me to my next point is to create structure. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to say to yourself, I'm going to do a little bit every day. A little bit of these 3 things every day. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to walk around the block once. That's your thing. You've done that for the day. I say do something inside, do something outside, and do something with someone every day.
Do something inside, do something outside, do something with someone. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that gives you a chance to connect with someone else. For creating structure, a to-do list is always great. If 3 things on your to-do list every day, don't overwhelm yourself is what I'm saying. I put 3 things on my to-do list every day. I probably do 1,000 things every day, but I make sure those 3 things are done.
Right.
So that also offers you a sense of structure. Right. You have a plan. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Right. So it's when you have a list, I heard this once, when you have a list and once you strike something off that list, there's a dopamine effect or something.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I know some of this stuff. Yeah, it really is.
That's great.
My son to do that. It's like, it just makes you feel like you've gotten something done and you've achieved something. One of our guests in here said Zumba. Now that's that's a tall order, but I'm down with that, but I'll do the soca thing for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, yeah.
It's good. It's good. No matter what you're doing, it's all good.
Do something outside, do something inside, and do something with someone.
With someone.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I just thought of something.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to interrupt you real quickly. Now, what if you are a partner of somebody and you're noticing these, like you're noticing them exhibiting these behaviors? What is your role?
Um, hmm. If you're a partner and you're noticing that they are experiencing these behaviors, um, hmm. It's difficult because there are so many different types of partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
different levels of openness, communication, and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're noticing and you are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say to express your concern,
Mm-hmm.
not in a you need to do dot 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 or XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
but more in a I am concerned because I am noticing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say I'm concerned, you can also talk about how you're feeling. Like usually if there's motivation to say something, there's fear involved, there's some worry involved, and in some way there's been some kind of loss. So you've lost the ability to communicate with this person on this level or to interact and engage, or some sort of loss in terms of this person's engagement with the family structure, the family home, or something like that. So you can express that as
Mm-hmm.
expressing it in a really, really calm and
Empathetic way.
yes,
Right.
absolutely,
Right. Right.
and don't tell them what to do. Don't
No.
tell them what to do. That usually has adverse effects.
Right.
But I will say this: if you notice that they're suicidal, that's when you need to call in the authority.
Make the call.
You need to do something immediately. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Their lives are at stake.
Okay. So basic maintenance, I think we kind of touched on that, is just taking care of self.
Yes.
Diet,
Mm-hmm.
physicality, making your list, your to-do list,
Yes.
doing something inside, outside, and with someone.
With
I love that
someone.
one, by the way. Did you notice I repeated it a million times?
It's a good one. It's a good one. And it's easy to remember.
It is a good one. So anything else that you would like to add? I think that this has been, I think this has been very meaty, and I feel like whoever's been on probably has gotten a lot from it, and might even be sharing it and playing it again, because I think we all know someone, right? Like,
absolutely.
And maybe more
We all know ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say these two things. Lastly, set boundaries. As soon as COVID-19 hit, I unplugged. So screens were not my friend unless they provided for me an opportunity to work. So screens at a minimum. So the news and the constant images and the constant updates and the constant memes and the constant everything and the everything and the everything, please just unplug.
Right.
Set boundaries gives yourself some space, give yourself some time. I do not check my emails between a certain time. If someone sends me an email, it's okay. They'll be fine, right? For those 3 hours or those 4 hours, hours or whatever you set aside for yourself, they'll be fine. I promise.
Okay. Can I ask, why are we setting boundaries? Can I just ask that? What does that usually do?
One, that keeps you safe.
Okay.
Two, it gives you space.
Right.
It gives you space to attend to yourself. Three, it teaches others how to treat you. It teaches others what you're willing and what you're not willing to do. Okay, so when it comes to, say, social media interaction, answering text messages, answering phone calls, like there has to be a measure of regard and consideration for individuals, especially because we are in this social isolation phase. Right? So we're inundated. We're in our homes. We're seeing our four walls. We're seeing our families all the time. Yeah. And there's separation. We don't have that, okay, I'm on my way home from work. I have the drive to decompress. Okay. No, we log off and we're in our kitchen. We're in our living room. We're in our wherever. And that's jarring.
Yeah.
experience. So we need to be able to set those boundaries that give us space to decompress, to process, to unplug, to do the things that feed us, that serve us.
Yes.
And that also contribute to our purpose and our passion.
Right.
We need to definitely do that. The last thing I'll say is, no, I'll say two more things. One is to be human, okay? In that there's been a lot of loss, there's been a lot of changes, been a lot of shifts. So give yourself space to experience that. It's sad, it's hard, it hurts. So be kind and compassionate to yourself. And my ultimate favorite, which I tell everybody, and there's actually a statistic on this because they've done scientific studies on the benefits of this thing. It's at 15 minutes of this thing is actually equivalent to 2 hours of vigorous exercise, which means health benefits are exponential.
I'm in. Whatever it is, I'm in.
Whatever it is. And it's really easy.
2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So in terms of the benefits on your heart, the benefit on your cholesterol levels and fat levels and your dopamine levels and your ability to just feel better, goodness, 15 minutes. If you want to invest, call me. No, I'm kidding. So I'll give you
okay.
I'll give you the letters because most kids use this popular, what do you call it, an acronym?
Yeah.
So it's LOL. Laugh out loud, people.
Laugh out loud.
Loud.
LOL.
Laughter is medication. Yes.
So guys,
Laughter.
Another 15 minutes because we are getting 2 hours of exercise in.
Yes, I don't know about you, but I would rather laugh.
Yeah.
Or run.
So
turn on a comedy show, turn on a movie.
One of my guests said, let me see. Great tips. And what can you do? Yeah, LOL, haha, let's go. 15 minutes.
15 minutes, that's it.
Yeah, I'm putting in my 15 every day.
You know what I did the other day?
For a reason.
I actually turned on an episode of In Living Color.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, and I laughed so hard.
Yeah. I've watched the Jeffersons lately, so that does it for me.
There you go.
Well, you know what? Our time here is up, and I've done this for another hour for sure, easily. Genevieve, you are amazing, and your tone, I love your tone. It's so soothing. I should adopt it. Talking to my clients. I'm sure they would be so happy if I spoke like this. You know, I really should get that house. I think it would be. Yes, house for you. Yes. So anyway, I appreciate you. We have, I think we've answered all the questions that have been posed. I think I've seen the comments and they have been very favorable. They thought that we had some great content and some great questions. You are amazing. Thank you so much for your graciousness.
It was a pleasure. You're amazing. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much. And guys, Genevieve's information is here. I know that if you need any help, she is available. I know she works like a workhorse because she couldn't fit me until 8:45 last night to talk for 5 minutes. So she is all in with her clients. She's all in with teaching. She's all in with progressive, and she's all in with making the world a better place. I like to say this. I like to say you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. And I can say that you are part of the solution. So I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Have a lovely evening.
You too. Enjoy.
And folks, thank you for joining us. And peace.
Bye. Night.